Hello, Ripjaws here, back with another video. Today we have finally, after 2 years. Yes, I'm a horrible procrastinator, but like what we have here is Ben 10 Showcase Wave 2. So in this showcase, we have a miscellaneous batch of Ben 10 customs. Some I have shown before, some have been updated, some are just brand new in general. And yeah, so for the showcase, we have on the very far left, we have Kevin 11, Cannonbolt, Ripjaws, Ben Tennyson from Alien Force, the hybrid from Alien Force, but it's just one of the generic generals. Then we have Cannonbolt from Reboot. I modified him a little, that's why he's in here. Upgrade, which is not shown, which has been shown. I'm really proud of it. I'm gonna go over it in this showcase. The not hybrid. Ultimate way big, and then we have Accelerate on top because he will not stand. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the first minifigure we have here is Cannonbolt. All I did here was I have added nothing much. I added black outlines on his not turtle shell, but his shell. Then I have made his eyes in yellow because in the show they're yellow. I repainted the Omnitrix to be in white and gray and silver. Painted a black stripe. I'm not good at painting stripes, honestly, especially when it's white on black or black on white. As you can see here, it's kind of chipping and fading because you know how much black paint there is on here. But yeah, that's basically all I did. This is the same one as the Alien Force / Reboot Cannonbolt that I used to have. I just repainted it to be an original style. I did sculpt on the arms, the legs, the shoulder pads to give them that more effect. I gotta repaint some of this because it's starting to fade. And his legs are bootleg Hello Kitty mid legs. I got those instead of freaking the transparent minifigures I ordered. But yeah. So that's it for Cannonbolt. Let's move on to Omni Enhanced. For Omni Enhanced Cannonbolt, the only thing I have done here is literally the only thing here besides a few chipping on the arms, which I need to fix, is I made the eyes more squinted because in the show and the reference photos I was using, and I did thin down his mouth a little too. I'm getting off track. His eyes are more squinted in his Omni Enhanced form, so that's what I did. I made them a little bit more smaller compared to like the larger ones, and I made the original Cannonbolt one more ball-like because like you know his eyes are pretty ball-like in the show. I got to repaint that a little. Maybe I'm probably just gonna keep it how it is. His eyes are really weirdly shaped, and I don't know how to do it without messing up the full figure. But yeah, this one's more like how I did for original Cannonbolt. Just the same thing, just a little bit better paint job for the most part. And I did add the Omni enhancements with the rocks on his back, and then all the speckles in green. It's kind of hard to see because this has some cold stains and glue stains. But yeah, all I did was add some green in there. You can kind of see it on top, and some blue because the blue's kind of sloppy because it's just raging power, I would say. Next off we have here is Ripjaws. He's completely painted in white, and I used the old Lego mermaid tail for this. I'm probably going to use a new one for the newer Ripjaws, but it has the older mermaid tail. I used a CMF minifigure. And what I did was I paint marsh green right here, and I think it's chipping and it's showing the blue again. Dang it. I gotta repaint that. But yeah, all I did was I paint his lines and pavement in black. Then I painted on the green, sanded down and sculpted on the green fins right here. Yeah, he is a bit squished too, which I need to fix. I need to give him a bigger jaw, or I can remake him entirely. Arms has more black outlining. Everything has outlining on here. His Omnitrix is mostly accurate, or it is accurate. Can't really tell, it's been a while, but there should be some gray in there. Probably use pavement, which is too dark, but yeah. I gotta repaint this to make it more gray. But all his lines are sculpted and painted. Sorry about the dirtiness of this figure, it's been a while. This one was heavily inspired by JQL Productions, that's why it's not totally original. What I plan to do is like sculpt out the jaw a bit more and stuff like that. Because this face is okay, but it still looks pretty bad. He has a Green Lantern right here. No, no pun intended. It's from DC, kinda, but still. He has a Green Lantern up here with a Marsh Green connector. His Omnitrix is painted on with a black patch on his arm and his torso. But yeah, he's also posable, I think. It's been a while since I posed him, but he is posable. I think I might give him one of those drones to attack, honestly. But yeah, he is posable still. Or I might just put him like this, honestly. I'm debating if I should make displays for these, honestly, because, like, some of these can move and some of these can't. But yeah, probably make some displays for these, maybe, or just keep it in the cases. At least waves 1 through 1 and 2 in the case. I don't know, I'm still thinking about it. What we have here is Upgrade. He did not take that much long to make. Well, who am I kidding? This took a long ass time to make. So what I did here was I painted spring green for all his lines, circles, and, L shapes. His back is partially my own design because I based this off the action figure too, but the balls right here and part of the legs are based off a mix of the action figure and my own design. Mainly that ball right here is based off the, Omniverse, and that's my own design. All the lines on here is based off the action figure. Same with the left arm, painted in spring green, painted in a light green. I'm just going to call it that instead of its real color. You should be able to find it at Walmart's. His head was a cylinder, which I sculpted on, sanded, and all that. His legs were sculpted on and painted in white. His torso is white. His Omnitrix is painted silver, gray, and white. His eyes painted in green, along with his sides are painted in light green. And these two things right here are painted in green. I sculpted this whole figure all by myself. Took a long time to make, especially this arm right here. This arm I need to add a little bit more to it, honestly, because it's a little bit too... This one's too far apart. This one's pretty okay. Probably need to repaint this a little bit, make it more wider. Yeah, or something like that, because, yeah, I probably need to repaint this arm in general. It's really bad. But, yeah. Upgrade. 9 out of 10 figure, I would say, that I made. Just needs a few modifications, and he should be, roughly a 10 out of 10 after this. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention. His arms are completely sculpted and hand-painted. Like, what I did was, I used a Lego base arm. I glued out the hand, so he has a little bit more, of a gap right here. Same thing was done with this arm. But there's a little gap now. So, his arms are, partially extended. I glued out the hands. I did that with Kevin, too. But we're not at Kevin yet. I glued out the hand, gave him the claw shapes. And, yeah. That's basically it. And I painted it black and white. It's really simple with the colors, but just black, whites, and greens. But still, I really love this figure. Even though he's not my favorite Ben 10 alien, I still love this. Right, finishing off the OG series, we have is Accelerate from Ben 10 Classic. Ben 10 Classic. So what I did here was I made my own blue color. I mixed spring green, bonnet blue, and bright blue all together to give him more of this, this color. This took a long time to dry, so some of the painting is not accurate to some of it. I painted on his shoulder pads. I used JQL's design for the legs. I know I feel really bad about it because I used his design, but it's probably the best. Him and Wavy's designs are probably the best design for the legs. JQL and Wavy's are best design for the legs. Because, there's no other way to make it besides using fawn legs and just adding, a little stud on it and just sculpting on there. Which I do not own the fawn legs because they're so hard to find and they're pretty expensive too. And I don't want them breaking because they're a brown Lego piece and light tan. But yeah, so what I did here, as this leg base was JQL Designs, JQL Figs Designs / Wavy Films, what I did was I cut down the leg, I sculpted, added a plate right here and added a stud, sculpted this leg section to give him that more camel shape, I guess. Then his tail is... What the heck is that? Oh, it's a cold stain, I think. Yeah, it's a cold stain. I hope. Yeah, it should be. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. His tail is completely painted in custom blue color. Then I painted on the black stripes. Yes, this part right here with the tail is supposed to be black at the bottom. Then I painted the blue right here. No, I painted it blue. Then I painted the black. Originally it was vice versa, but I decided to change it up because it was highly inaccurate because I was using baby blue, not this medium blue that I have now. His head is sculpted. It's my original design, but I took some inspiration off of JQL figs and used some reference art. So what I did, this was inspired by JQL figs, extending this, and putting a little chin right here. That was based off reference art, putting the chin area and partially JQL figs. Then his eyes are painted in black, then green, and the outline around the eyes is painted like this, like streaks around the eyes are painted in black. His mouth is painted in black. His chin guard is painted in black. So with the arm pads right here, and on the other side, painted in black. And his toes are painted in black right here. There should be like a sculpt right here for the, like the split in between the toes, but I decided to paint that on because, like, it's Lego. Then his torso is black, painted with white. Then his Omnitrix is painted black, silver, pewter gray, then white. Which took a long time to make, honestly. I feel like this, like, if I make it accelerate again, he's going to be like a different design, honestly. It's probably going to be a green version, honestly, and he's probably going to have a little bit of abs to him, because that's how he is. When he's older, he has a little bit more abs for this alien. But yeah, that's basically it for Accelerate. Let's move on to Alien Force. Get on to Alien Force, I forgot to show Kevin 11. So here's Kevin 11. I already went to heavy detail in one of my videos of him. But basically, what you see is what you get. I did not... Accelerate was made after Kevin, so their blues are a little bit inaccurate. And all I did was I based this off of all my OG aliens, which I have them all near me. Mostly OG aliens. The only one that's not based off any OG aliens is that I have made is Ghost Freak. Ghost Freak uses black on his cuts. This one uses pewter gray because I wanted to make it Ghost Freak design, not pewter gray, pavement gray. And I just swapped out the colors, honestly, because let me get them. Ripjaws had pavement on most of his painting, and I used the black over here for his Ripjaws parts, like for gills on his head and his lower gills, I guess. His breathing apparatus or something like that. He's inspired by forearms too. He is posable. You can move his arms. This one you cannot move his arms at all. I don't want to break this, but he's not even posable at all. Maybe his arms, but those have been hindered because I glossed it, which was a bad idea in my opinion. But yeah, he can move his arms. His arm is inspired off of Race Against Time / my second version or third version of Diamond Head, where it's metallic green. All I did was extend it a little bit and give him more shaping right there because, he's Kevin and I want him to look more buff than Ben. And I have a few more. Oh yeah, Ghost Freak. Alright, so the cuts with Ghost Freak is originally in black, but I made him pewter gray like I said earlier. Pavement gray, sorry. Upgrades in green. The only ones I have not made that are on here is Wild Mutt, which is over here, which has his arms with the, black claws and the fur around the arms. Ripjaws is roughly the same, except he's not using a green light, he's using a yellow light. And then his gray matter eye is in yellow, bright yellow, with an angry expression, and forearms eyes are roughly the same, or just more squinted to be more angry. And his full body's in dark red compared to the bright red of forearms. But other than that, now let's move on to Alien Force. First off here we have is the Hybrid Supreme from Ben 10 Alien Force. This is one of the hybrid generals. I already have showcased this already. And unfortunately the painting does not go inside the legs, even though it's sanded. I didn't sand it all the way so it doesn't chip. I'm probably gonna paint this later. But basically, The Hybrid Supreme is, it's a basic hybrid. I plan to make my next one extended and stuff like that, and I dropped all the customs that I shown. Let's put these to the side, actually. All I did was, I sculpted the torso, sculpted the arms, and sculpted the head. Sculpted halfway on the arms, painted a black texturing. Same with on here. And his black he has some black right here for the indentations, and then some gray right here. Pewter gray for, like, you know, the dying plants, I guess. Red for the eyes on the head and the torso. Then I painted on the spikes because I tried sculpting them previously, but it didn't work. Then he has purple for his face and black for the indentations. And then black and red for the eyes. Let's move on to, you know, Ben 10 Alien Force Spin now because this one's pretty simple. Alright, so next to last alien, but not alien per se, it's just Ben Tennyson. So for Ben Tennyson himself, I have completely painted his minifigure. His legs were originally blue legs, but because of how much texture I used on here, it will not move anymore. Or because it's glued, one of those two. I think it's just because of texturing. What I did was I used bright blue, gloss blue, then I used a 2 blue to give it this pinch texture. It looks nice, but it's no longer movable because of how thick the blue was. And unfortunately, his shoes just does not match Albedos or Albedos, one of those two. His Omnitrix is made with one of those end of a lever pieces and then sculpted on. And then it has all the indentations on it. Right here, painted on. All the indentations are painted on. It is movable, but I don't want to move it because, you know, it'll break. Maybe. Then he has his white painted on his arms with the green arm. Another green arm with the, you know, Omnitrix on it. That's literally the only thing that makes it different is the Omnitrix. Recalibrated Omnitrix, I should say, because this is his recalibrated one. Then, yeah, basically what I did was I painted a light green. Then I painted a darker green inside it to give it more of that Alien Force texture. Torso has some black painted on. I'm probably going to fix this up a bit too. Then after that, I have his 10 painted on, which I was too scared to modify at the time, but looking at Albedos, I think I might do it. Excuse me, it might modify it again. His eyes are Lego eyes, just a little bit bigger. He has his smirk and brown hair and brown eyebrows. Other than that, there's nothing on the back besides continuation of his shoes. But yeah, let's move on to the final alien. So our last and final Ben 10 alien is, we're going ultimate for this one. So this is Ultimate Way Big. So basically, I'm not going to go completely over this again, honestly, because I already showcased this theoretically in a like shorter video, but I really rushed it. So what I did here was I sculpted on the legs. Right now I cut the legs and I sculpted on them to give him his Ultraman spikes. That's what this is based off of. Way Big was originally based off an Ultraman. That's why he looks like one on here. And it's Ultimatrix. It's a little sloppy. I'm planning to repaint this, and I'm planning to fix up that blue smudge right there. Torso was painted, sanded, then painted. Arms were sculpted, then painted. It went dark red, then bright red. His head was sculpted and painted. First, I sculpted on the front part, then I sculpted on these parts, and I sculpted on the last part, which was his final spike right here. Painted that baby blue, along with his arms, which has dark red and dark blue. And a little bit of bright red for gradients. His whole body's dark blue with some little bit of breathing stuff right here, or like the gills right there. And his eyes are painted in green and black outlining. His face is just painted. This was done on first try, believe it or not. I think this has some blue underneath it. No, it's just black. But yeah, what I did here was I painted it to give him more of that, like angry, concerned face. Kind of like, I mean, I'm not doing this with all my customs. It's just more of like a rock expression. Honestly, he's like, how Aklanogia did that during when, Natsu was mocking him, if you know what I mean. Basically what I did here was I did that same thing because, you know, like, the Dagon was mocking Ben, and I thought this would be a great expression for it. And plus, I'm not really good at symmetry yet with customizing, or painting, I should say. And then back has just continuation of a red, and more blues, baby blues, and dark reds and blues. His Omnitrix is painted on, which is a pain in the butt. Now, I hope my next Ultimatrix will be better. But yeah, that's it for Ultimate Way Big. Let's conclude the video. Also, before I go, here's my top 5 of this showcase. I have Cannonbolt number 5, Hybrid number 4, Upgrade number 3, Kevin 11, Mutation Form Classic Series number 2, and Accelerate number 1. So these are my favorites from this showcase, and yeah, bye. Alright everyone, so thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.